We now discussed one of the biggest pain points of our Sir James here, who is eating our head since the starting of the season. That how Stephen Curry has ruined the game. Not Stephen Curry in general specifically.
I
3-point
didn't say
game.
Stephen Curry doing the game, did I?
A 3-point game. But obviously he gives a lot of credit.
It's a sly shot. It's a sly shot.
But he gives a lot of credit to Stephen Curry for that. So why don't we just start with James only? James, what is your pain point regarding this 3-point game?
Okay.
Stephen Curry in general, specifically this season.
Yeah, so I'll rephrase. So I'll reframe or not reframe. I'll rephrase what I already said.
Mm-hmm.
So my claim was that the 3-point shot dominant dependence on the 3-point shot. Okay, the exacerbating amount of 3-pointers that the teams are taking in the league right now. That the coaches are allowing their teams to just chuck up those shots.
Licensing.
I mean, licensing. You call it licensing. These guys to just chuck up some threes, in the game, like 35, 40, sometimes 50, 60 threes a game. And, that's really killing the value of the game. As, when you compare the game just maybe a decade ago to the Spurs, where they did have 3-point shots here and there, but they technically, knew how to, get the ball to the right player, make the right and correct play. The value of making the correct play right now is really low as opposed
really
to
low. Yeah.
Hit the home run. Yeah. So I was like, that doesn't embody, the beauty of the game of basketball, as we all know. So that is my argument. Yeah.
One thing I will also say that, me and you, Saad Bhaiya, we have played for a long time together. So the first time when I met Saad Bhaiya, so for 1 year he was playing under the paint in the mid range. I don't know what entered into his head, and he started shooting from 3-point line. And I'm like, "What are you doing, bro?" It's like, so, what are you doing, bro? It's like, okay, I'll confess. I have been the victim of this, of this, 3-point shooting.
3-point defense.
Okay, 3-point is like no,
I have 3-point defense.
No, not like the trend. What I like? Let me explain. Like when I started learning basketball and all. So for me, I learned pick and roll and stuff like that. Pick and roll and everything used to be very inside the arc, inside the 3-point arc. Now these are like high pick and rolls here. Like you are doing pick and roll somewhere between the logo and 2-3 steps away from the 3-point line. Yeah, somewhere around half court. And I'm like, yeah, why you want to do this? Like this hinders the game in a multiple way. And Stephen Curry is the guy who is solely responsible for it in all respectable way possible. Because what Stephen Curry does is he makes so impossible shots look easy. When he converts bad shots sometimes, most of the times, let's just say, one guy is standing in your face, one hand in your face, and then he dribble and shoot, and he makes. People don't understand that is the greatness of Stephen Curry. You are not supposed to be Stephen Curry. Okay, Stephen Curry is only one guy. So how can you do that? And what happens is mostly Steph Curry, what it does is like when he everybody has been trained that when you shoot or something, you do the entire follow through. Steph Curry got nothing follow through, dude. Once the ball goes, he start doing this and stuff like that. And we can see people doing that same thing in the court. Okay, same thing. Everybody is doing that. Okay, and this ruins my game, because when I started learning basketball, the first thing I learned was paint. post
Yeah,
moves.
fundamentals.
Fundamentals, post
yeah.
moves. Okay, even if I have to cross somebody, my crossover was not okay. I will dribble, then I will see the opening. No, when my fundamental was, as soon as I get the ball, I'll see how my first step can cross the guy. Can how I will put my first step and my first dribble behind the guy's body. That was the understanding. That is the fundamental. Not wasting dribbles, not wasting time, not wasting the not bringing the ball out of the air, sucking the ball out of the air and just then later just throw somebody away and hope that that prayer is answered. Okay, which Russell Westbrook does, by the way.
Man,
So,
Russell is not even in this conversation. He's
So-
nowhere. He's got no place in this conversation.
We
so
all have a Russell Westbrook inside of us.
no, but what I am saying is, for Stephen Curry it works because Stephen Curry is not their primary ball handler. Stephen Curry is not their primary ball handler. Now imagine if you take almost the same thing and you put it in a guy who is a ball handler also, aka James Harden. He frees the rest of the people. Yeah, I mean, 56, half of the time he's only have the ball and everybody else is the mercy at his, if he wants to make short, or otherwise pass it. So it brings other people out of the rhythm. So that is my whole issue.
Background noise.
Yeah. It's,
Somebody's
somebody-
playing basketball.
I think
backdoor.
I think near my stadium. I think the stadium is there. No, I think they're some launching.
It's all
Okay, James, Sadhbhai, you can go. I'll mute my this one.
Okay, so coming to this whether Steph Curry has spoiled the game or not, I think the entrance of 3-point, I mean, like it's quite a valuable thing to understand that if you can shoot 40% at 3-pointers rather than shooting 50% in the paint, it would be obviously great since we don't have great mid-range shooters and we are not able to replicate great mid-range shooters over the years. I mean, like probably the best would be like in their 44, 45 percentages, field goal percentage, obviously. All the great I mean, Jordan was an exception that he shot close to 50%. Okay. And there are some exceptions. You have LaMarcus Aldridge, Anthony Davis for some parts of his career. There are some this thing who shot very high. Right now we have Kawhi Leonard and CP3 is there, Kawhi Leonard is there, KD is there. It's always has been like a handful of players who've been good at the mid-range. But then when they found the 3-pointer line, and especially the Spurs and the early Warriors, they figured out that if you can make if you can have a player who has all the time free shots, as in he's always free to take a 3-pointer shot, you can easily shoot. You as a team can easily shoot 40% on threes. You just need to have one good off the dribbling shooter and probably one good on off the dribble shooter and probably 3 good off the dribble shooters. Okay, off the catch shooters. So if you just have this, you'd probably be able to replicate it. And some teams have been really good. I think the LeBron Cavs were really good with this. I think LeBron was the sole ball handler and they were really good with it. LeBron could literally dribble out the whole shot clock till probably like 18 seconds, 19 seconds and make one good pass and then he could have got off with it. What Steph Curry does is a little different. He just goes on his movement along with 1 or 2 more other good shooters in his team. They keep on moving and keep on screening, which leads to an open shot. But then I think it doesn't work with other teams where you may not have a good passer. Even though James Harden has been said to be a good passer, but he literally did the same thing what LeBron was doing with the Cavs. He was doing with the Rockets.
Now, people are forcing this guy also, Giannis, to also play 3-pointer. I'm like, why?
I think, I think Giannis understands. I actually don't have a problem with Giannis taking 3-pointer, and there's a reason for that. I'll tell you. First of all, disclaimer:
Not learning 3-pointer or not or making 3-pointer. Okay.
Okay, so let me put put a disclaimer of the earlier claim made that I shoot threes. Now I don't shoot threes because they all are air balls. So I again moved to my old game back. Okay, I will stop kind of shooting from the mid range, mostly finishing at the rim or some hooks. That's the most I know. Maybe if I have a free shot, I'll take it, but not 3 pointers. Usually somewhere in the mid range. Further coming to Giannis, I think Giannis and any good player, because Giannis is a perimeter player. He isn't mostly playing in the paint. So I think as a perimeter player, because he moves around the perimeter a lot, which he's reduced since the last year, he's reduced, which has helped him in his game also. But I think he should he should not attempt more than two or three pointers just to keep it respectable. Now see, some people they shoot a lot. Like Westbrook, if his two 3-pointers go in, he'll be shooting till 10 3-pointers. Okay, this happens with LeBron also. I don't know whether people notice it. He sometimes overdoes it. Let's say that he made, let's say, 5 out of 10 in the previous game. He'll go on to shoot 10 in this game also and probably make 2 or 3 or 1 of them. Which again feeds into especially Westbrook. So with Westbrook, people leave him free. So obviously, then you start coming into the Ben Simmons category when people are leaving you free on the 3-pointer line. Because everyone knows, see, there are some players who may be bad, like J.R. Smith, okay? There was a point in J.R. Smith's career when they knew that he had a bad shot selection, so they let him take the 3. But once or twice when they left him free, J.R. figured it out that when they leave me free, I should set my feet and then I should go for this thing. Now, Westbrook isn't that smart. He isn't even a great shooter at that point. So he can't do all that. Everyone knows that.
Why Westbrook is being roasted in this conversation?
No, I'm just talking about when players take it too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting what both of you have come to, and the most interesting fact is that again both of you have alluded to individual players. Okay, and I'm still going to stick to I'm going to throw light more on the style of play again. Okay, watch this. So I'm an okay finisher, so I had no trouble finishing after a foul, after a hard foul, or you guys know it what kind of a finisher I am. So nothing to say about me as a finisher, but what I want to tell you is take crunch time. Okay, take the last 30 seconds of gameplay. Okay, and
right.
You are down 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds. You are down by 3 points. Okay. And now you got the ball in your hand. You run down the clock, maybe 5 to 10 seconds. And you maybe 20 seconds. And you got the last 4 seconds left. Okay. Yeah. And you know what is the immediate reaction of 99% of the players? 99%, and I'm not lying. When there's 4 seconds left in the shot clock and you're down 3, even though you have a better 2-point shot, you have a shot at making the 2-point go inside, but you're going to automatically draw back and go towards the line. And you know what's happening? That has happened, I think, this season at least 4 to 5 times. And each of those movements towards the 3-point line has been a turnover. Each of those times has been a turnover. We don't know if you'd have gone for the 2-point shot, you may have got fouled, or he may have made the shot and then got fouled, or he may have missed 50%, as you said. 50% is cool. You can live with 50%. But the style of play is becoming so much that even the commentators recognize this. I mean, why is this guy going back to the 3-point line? You have a shot inside. You got a rebound you got an offensive rebound. Okay, on a bad shot, and you still have the possession. You can make the quick 2, play the foul.
No, but he will go step back.
He'll
go step back.
Yeah, but it's automatic.
Yeah.
So it's wired in people's game. And even when I play, it's so frustrating. Me as a player, I got 4 guys on my team, and I'm the playmaker. Okay, I'm the playmaker, so I think I have the right to get frustrated. I don't know. So what happens is, even the shorter guy, even the guy who's shorter than me, the shooting guard who's quicker than me, who can make an easy cut. So he does a give and go. He gives the ball to me and I signal him, cut, man. Your man is, big. Your man is 110 kilos and you guys are at the 3-point line. Just make a quick cut, man. It's an easy layup. But no, he just stands there. It kills the play.
I tell you,
Physically.
I want to take it to the one step further, which since because of the introduction, because of this trend of this fashion of just shooting threes, bunch of threes, and just hoping something will go in. Because of this, other players get affected a lot. Like I can give you my own personal example. Now, you guys know me that when wherever I am on the court, when the ball goes down, the first thing I do is run for the rebound no matter wherever I'm the court is on the court. Now, most of the time, what happens is since I play post, I'll post down one guy, I'll be waiting. Okay, you don't pass me, that's not an issue. But when you take a 3-point shot, if it doesn't go, now 3-point shots, a lot of times what happens is when the rebound comes, it does not fall in the paint area. It goes somewhere in the mid-range to the 3-point area only. So what happens is the rebounders are out of the game.
Why you play with so bad shooters, bro?
Yeah, bro, some cool. How utensils make sounds, right? how utensils make sounds when they fall. That is the exact sound you see when they were.
Unless you got Shad with you, because if Shad shoots, it's an air ball. It's coming in your hands. Only.
Yeah.
It's an inadvertent pass.
True, man.
Yeah. So what happens?
Alley-oop, bro.
And see, I have invested a lot of time just watching. Just standing, below the ring and just anticipate, every player's, rebounding range.
Yep.
Like I have played enough with James to know that if he misses this mid range, where possible areas the rebound will go. Okay, and when I see the shot, I know, okay, I think he shot little bit, shorter though, so it will go this side. Or when I think, okay, thoda zyada jor se maar diya, so I think I should go to the other side. So much I have put my knowledge into that. But now since this 3-point has come, this knowledge is useless because the
It's
position
very difficult.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
position
it's
where
very
I'm
difficult
standing,
to find out.
Yeah. It's basically because even if you figure it out, what can you do? Yeah, what can you do?
Offensive rebounding is kind of dead also in the NBA.
Yeah,
I
offensive
feel.
rebound. Yeah.
Because of
Yeah.
3-pointers.
You can check the stats. Yeah.
I was so happy. Okay, I was so happy. It feels amazing. Like you keep doing a lot of things in the basketball, on the court, and then when you go home and you listen to the legends talking about they used to do the same thing. Then you used to be like, "Hi, I'm also a player," kind of a thing. Like I remember. What I used to do a lot of times is because I used to shoot from mid range, and in the starting I was not a very good, jump shooter. Let's just say. So what I used to do a lot of times just to get people off me, I used to just take a bad shot. You know why? I used to take bad shot because once
then you can take it back.
Take the rebound, because once the ball leaves my hand, people will turn behind, right? And by the time they turn behind, I'm already like this. Okay. So by the time the ball reaches to the ring, I'm already ahead of everybody, get the ball and put back. The same thing Dominic Wilkins used to do. Not even Dominic, his entire team used to do at Atlanta Hawks. Like, if somebody take a shot, 3-4 people will jump like this. Okay. All tall guys will jump and fight for the rebound and put it back. That thing is completely gone. My skills are of no use in this new basketball because the ball does not reach to a guy like me. No matter how efficient I am, literally it doesn't matter how efficient I am on the court. People will still take, okay, let me just take a flashy bad shot from the 3-point, rather than giving a guy who is like 10-15 feet away from the ring, and literally one dribble and one move away from a 2-pointer shot. So I don't know. I mean, Saad Bhaiya can also tell, because Saad Bhaiya ka one move is there, he does the hook shot.
Yeah, left hook.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
The hook.
Yeah.
The percentage of the
hook.
hook shot.
My left hook is right now. I've done it in games recently, but it's not that good. But how it used to be before, it used to be like if I get my right foot off before the defender coming on me, that's just automatic. It used to be so bad, so demoralizing.
I mean,
at times.
how tall are you? How tall are you?
I'm 6'1". 6'1".
6'1", and I mean your hands are also a little bit taller. I mean long. So just imagine, left, a hook shot from a left guy, which is very,
And I
very,
used to, so my hook shot was one more thing was there. Most of the people either get off on both of their foots for the hook or they'll get off of the opposite foot.
No, you used to do that
Mine
Kareem
used to-
wala, dude. You
Yeah.
used to do that-
So mine used to be the wrong foot. I used to get off the wrong foot. Okay, and I used to make it. And then people used to be like, how the hell do you defend this when he's getting off the wrong foot? Okay.
No, Saad
It
Bhai
used
has
to be
that
like-
one shot is, no, Saad Bhai has one shot. So one shot is, it all depends on him. Defender has nothing to do in it. If it goes, it is kudos to Saad Bhai. If it doesn't go, he pooped. That's all. It's like,
Yeah.
because literally you can't do anything
Yeah.
about the shot. It was such a good shot, but
You
it is
can't.
no use. It is no use now in this game.
Yeah.
Even
So,
I
as-
think
just
a lot
like
of
Saad.
lefty finishes are underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like Saad, you know what I've done in the last 1.5 years?
What?
I have gone to the hook left and right. Okay. Left, right, not center. Like,
Both are
Left, right.
underrated.
and what happened is I found that my shooting percentage on the hook shot, even the left, it's equal on both the shots. It's more than 60%. I'm not
Yeah.
lying. I've implemented this in the games, and I can even take a hook even if I'm 10 feet away from the basket.
There's one more thing with the
It's an
hook.
effective shot.
Yep. There's one more thing with the hook. I've seen like normal layup, you're going like this, jump shot, you're going like this. These things, if you practice, you can become good. But if with the hook you're good, right? Even at a bad release from your hand, you'll exactly know where the ball is going. Okay. It isn't like other shots that you may not know. And once, especially the lefty hook, right? Once you've mastered that, I think, and if you practice it like nicely, even at some wrong angle, especially when you get off your wrong foot because of the defender coming at you couldn't anticipate the defender or something, and you're just stuck somewhere. And the only thing you can do is while falling down, take off it off your left hand or your right hand. That's where hook really helps.
So that is what, like, one of the things was like, my thing was I used to make like really, I will not say very good passes, but I understood the game from the paint. Like, I used to see the offense like this. Correct. Now my team's offense I used to like see like this because I am in the paint, right? I'm possible. So once I get, if they give me the point guard, give me the ball. Okay. Now if I cannot make the move, at least I could do passes which was not possible from that angle. So that
Right.
that assist also is gone. Bacha kya fir? What am I supposed to do there? Just to stand?
I think if you have good shooters, you can still make good plays from the mid range.
Yeah.
If you see Jokic currently, right? Even Luka Doncic, these both people, what they do is, and I like both of their games, especially because currently all the youngsters, especially American, I don't know what the hell they play. They'll just come to the 3-pointer line, pass it to some guy on the 3-pointer line, go, or they'll drive in and kick out, drive in and kick out. Even drive in and kick out has become the new game. Okay, so drive in and kick
Even
out is
Westbrook
like,
can do that.
he did that. That's how he used to get his 10 assists. Okay, even LeBron does that. But LeBron was, he was respectable at the drive-in. Okay, so his finishing was good. So it's understandable that you respect him over there. No, Westbrook was not a good finisher. Okay, so let's move ahead from Westbrook. So coming from the drive-in and kick-out. Now, what I like about Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic is they'd come down to the mid-range slowly, dribble out over there, watch all the players. Okay, even if they were going to make a 3-point shot, and there's one player with the Mavs, I forgot his name. He's a very good player.
Porzingis.
Not Porzingis, dude.
Finney-Smith. Dorian Finney-Smith.
Not Finney. I think his dad was a player or something.
Oh, Hardaway. Timmy Hardaway Jr.
Hardaway.
Oh,
So
Junior.
Hardaway, right? I like Hardaway's game. He totally understands how Luka moves. Okay, and he always doesn't go for the 3-point shot. He'll either go for, even though he's a really good 3-point shooter, he'd always go with a one dribble mid range or the 3-point line if he's free over there. So that makes sense. That if you're a respectable shooter in the mid range, you shouldn't stop shooting mid range. Okay, so that's my saying to all of the young players, that because I know I've seen so many players that are really good. Like if you go and see DeAndre Ayton, right, the center from Phoenix Sun. If you go and look at his moves from college days, he had a decent mid-range game, but he doesn't. Not that he shoots a lot of 3-pointers, but he doesn't go back to that game. Now I've seen him. He just plays like a old traditional center,
I
like kind of little soft, kind of
I
little.
tell you what. Okay, I go to play. I think this year in January I went to play in Bangalore. The normal public court में खेलने गया. This Hudga, okay. This kid doesn't even know, how to fill a form or something like that. I tell him, boy, give the ball in the paint. He's like, no, you just stand, you just take rebound. I'm like, what are you saying, dude? He is fighting two people in the two. They are double teaming him, and still he is not. Still he's shooting over them rather than passing a guy who is clearly the taller guy in the court, who is like 10-15 feet away from
Who might be
somebody.
open? Who might be open under
Open.
open heavens and open
Yeah,
basket?
yeah, yeah.
The
Everything.
whole point of double team is to find the open guy, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know how people still don't get it.
it's so irritating, dude. It's so, I mean, it's very, very annoying. Like, okay, like I'll tell you what I was telling James also this, that see, when Stephen Curry does things like that, this is spectacular. Okay. But now what happens is now there is no
I don't think even Stephen Curry pulls two defenders and shoots over them.
no,
I think he gives the ball and moves.
Man, he's a high IQ player, man. The overall team is high IQ, man. He doesn't do stupid
Yeah.
stuff. Stupid are the people who think they can be Stephen Curry. They are stupid. Okay. No. My thing is there is no originality to the game anymore, Sathya. That is what I'm saying. Like for example, let's just take the example in the 90s. Okay, 90s, mein, even though Jordan was the guy who ruled, the pretty much the decade. So there was Jordan, who was the Chicago Bulls was known for the triangle offense. Correct, triangle offense. Kenny Smith and Houston Rockets, or with Hakeem Olajuwon and all these people, their playing style was one crazy, dominant, athletic center with three guards who can just shoot. Okay, because Hakeem will suck the defense in, so a lot of people were free, so he can pass them and they can make it. I mean, and you can take Pacers, you can take a lot of other teams also. There are at least 4 or 5 teams who used to play differently. Then there was some difference among them. So it was a very entertaining thing to watch. Okay, how this matchup style will go against this matchup style. Like the last thing, the exact thing happened is Golden State Warriors versus Cleveland Cavaliers. Golden State Warriors was all about passing the ball and making the free shot. Cavaliers was LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. They will dribble and then they will pass. Okay, so there were so two different. You are muted.
Kyrie won't pass.
Yeah, no, but I mean that
Kyrie
is
won't pass,
like
yeah.
one. LeBron or Kyrie will take turns to do offense. Okay, they will suck the defense. Then they will pass. So these are two different style of play you used to collect. Now there is no style of play. Everybody is trying to be playing like another guy. There is no originality in the game, no joy to even watch it. Okay, let me learn something.
See, that's why. When we first go to coaching camp, or as kids, right? That's the point of this whole. I mean, the thing that we want to let the kids know. We want the next generation to know, right? Like the game is still beautiful, all right, right? So we got the hook shot and things like that. So as you go as a young, fresh concrete kind of player, interested in the game of basketball, what do? You go into fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
And once you go into the fundamentals, once you go into the drills, what happens is over time and over the years, sometimes over months, some people have this. It doesn't take much time to discover that you are exceptionally good in a few things. Okay, in a few things, and the greats were exceptionally good in most of the things. Like you see, maybe Will Chamberlain.
LeBron.
Except shooting from distance, Will could do it all. You have LeBron, except his maybe free throw shooting and 3-point shooting, he could do it all. You name it, even the very minute things like offensive awareness, the presence, knowing the presence of your teammates on the court, both on defense and on offense, to be able to communicate as a first, second, and third level defender. So what happens is over the years, you as a fresh player, a new player, since you know the fundamentals, right? You discover, wow, you may discover that you're an exceptional 3-point shooter. I mean, go ahead, shoot the lights out. Like you might be the next Steph Curry or even better, you never know that you might turn out that way, right? To the young guys. But there are other facets of the game that are beautiful.
सब बन बैठे यहाँ भगवान क्योंकि बनना नहीं है किसी को इंसान कूद कूद के करते खुद के गुणगान फैंस इनके सारे बंद कर लो कान गाली गलोच का नाम है रोज wanna be PewDiePie का काम है रोज